my name is Dave, and today we're going to be going over the installation of the Midwest Industries Gen 2 extended handguard for your AK-47 or AK-74 style rifle. There are three models available. The differences between the three models are, we have one specific model for the Aimpoint Micro series of optics as shown here. A different model features the Trijicon MRO machining for mounting direct as shown here. And last, there is a complete top cover with just Picatinny rail for mounting an optic of your choice. All three models require some compatibility with your AK pattern rifle. The barrel diameter must be 0.70 inches. You must have at least 6 inches of furniture length, not including the mounting surfaces. It is not compatible with Yugo style rifles, and be sure to check that your front sight post is not mounted to the gas block. If the front sight is mounted to the gas block, you may have some compatibility issues as well. So be sure to check that before going forward with the installation and or purchasing. Before we get into the installation segment of the video, let's go over the required tools and materials that you will need to complete the installation. The installation is pretty straightforward. However, if you find any of this video overwhelming, or there are parts you don't understand, or you don't have the proper tools, don't hesitate to seek the assistance of a qualified certified gunsmith or competent armorer to assist you. You will need the included hex keys. They are 9/64, 1/8, and 5/64. If you prefer to use a driver and ratchet system, that's fine too, and that's what I'll be using in the video. You will also need the required medium strength thread locker, which is included, an inch-pound torque wrench, which is capable of tightening to 60 inch-pounds, some sanding blocks or a light file is needed in case you need to fit the anti-rotation tab, which we'll go over later in this video. Depending on your model of rifle, if you have a sling loop present, you will need to remove that. You can use a small cutting wheel and rotary tool to remove and grind that surface off. Of course, if you are using the rotary tool, you want to make sure to wear safety glasses. We'll put a list of all the recommended and required tools on the screen now, and you can pause that for future reference or if you'd like to take notes. The first step is to verify that you have a safe workspace and unloaded and clear rifle. Verify there is no ammunition or magazines in your workspace. Remove the magazine from the rifle if it is present. Pull the charging handle to the rear, and we're going to check the magazine well, loading area, and chamber for any ammunition. I'm then going to repeat. I'm going to look in the magazine well, loading area, and chamber, and verify that the firearm is unloaded. Next, we are going to perform a field disassembly of the rifle. Because of the variety of models, handguards, and furniture on the market, we recommend consulting with the manufacturer of your rifle for the proper procedure to perform a field disassembly. You will need to remove the dust cover, bolt carrier, piston components, gas tube, and any existing furniture or handguard for the installation. If your rifle has a factory sling loop, you will need to remove that at this time. If you are going to be using a rotary tool, make sure you don the proper safety equipment and take caution while using the tools. You can also use hand tools. Once you have completed cutting off the sling loop, you can go ahead and apply some cold blue to the exposed metal to protect it. Follow up the cold blue with the rust preventative oil of your choice. You can leave the handguard cap in place. Now we're going to go over the components and pieces of the handguard. You should find all of these parts in the package. Take time to become familiar with them so you know where they fit in the installation process. We have the lower portion of the handguard, the upper portion of the handguard, the gas tube, the handguard clamp, the anti-rotation piece, 4 socket head cap screws, 6 flat head cap screws, 2 long set screws, and 1 short set screw. Also included in the package is a small section of Picatinny rail that is M-LOK compatible. You can mount this anywhere on the handguard for accessories of your choosing. Now is a good time to degrease the hardware. I'm using denatured alcohol and a small patch, but a similar degreasing agent would work just fine. Simply take each of the screws and thoroughly degrease them, removing any packing oils or cutting oils from the screws. Degreasing the screws and hardware will help to ensure that the thread locker adheres properly to the threads. Repeat for all of the screws and set screws. Now we're going to fit the anti-rotation block into the receiver. The anti-rotation block has curved corners. These corners match the corners of the receiver. Due to the variety of tolerances on the AK platform, some fitting will be required. Check for proper fit. You can see here that the anti-rotation block is too large to fit into the receiver. So we will need to remove a small amount of material from both sides of the block. Take your time. Remove a small amount of material at a time. You can always remove more material, however, you cannot add material. If you mess up, don't worry, additional replacement anti-rotation blocks are available. Be sure to take an even amount off of each side and check often for a good, snug fit. This may take a few minutes. Be patient and take your time. Once the anti-rotation block is fitted to the receiver, we can now install it into the bottom portion of the handguard. The tab simply inserts into the handguard as shown. This small threaded portion is for the short set screw. Apply a small amount of medium thread locker to the set screw, and we can install it in place. Snug the set screw down to secure the anti-rotation block. Do not over tighten. We can now install the lower handguard onto the rifle. Insert the anti-rotation tab into the receiver. A hinging action works well. Apply a small amount of the provided thread locker to each of the 4 socket head cap screws. Repeat for each screw. Now we're going to install the handguard clamp. Note that the serrations are on the bottom portion, and these match the serrations on the handguard. These serration portions will make contact with the barrel. Align the handguard clamp with the lower handguard and install each of the 4 socket head cap screws. We can now tighten them down evenly. I recommend going in an alternating pattern or an X pattern to ensure that the screws are tightened evenly and the clamp secures straight down into the handguard. Once the block is tightened evenly onto the barrel and into the lower portion of the handguard, we can use our inch-pound torque wrench to tighten each screw to 60 inch-pounds. Next, we're going to install the new gas tube. If the fit isn't perfect or if there's some slight movement front to back, that is normal due to the variety of tolerances on the AK platform. The set screws in the top cover will take care of that. Using the 2 long set screws, apply some of the provided thread locker on each. Tighten both of the set screws just so they're touching the tube. Over-tightening the screws could push up on the tube, pushing it out of alignment, therefore preventing installation of the piston components later. If you have one of the optic-specific top covers, now is the time to install your optic. Place the optic onto the machine surface, mating the surfaces, and install the 4 screws provided. Check with the manufacturer of your optic for the recommended torque and any thread locker recommendations. Do not over-tighten these screws as you could damage the optic. Now we're ready to install the top cover. Align the 3 holes of the top cover to the 3 threaded portions of the handguard. Using the 6 flathead screws, tighten each screw to 30 inch-pounds. Do not over-tighten, and the use of thread locker is not recommended for these screws. We can now reassemble the rifle per the manufacturer's recommendations. If you're not familiar with how to do this, consult with the manufacturer of your rifle or check your owner's manual. You can now perform your safety and function checks and check for proper fit and function. If you feel any play or movement on the handguard, you may have to go back and check your work. Remember to tighten the fasteners to the recommended torque on the instructions and use the provided thread locker where indicated. Allow 12 hours for the thread locker to cure before use. If you have any questions, you can contact the technical support staff by phone or on the webpage midwestindustriesinc.com. If any part of the directions or anything covered in this video doesn't make sense to you, or you don't understand any part of it, don't hesitate to seek the assistance of a qualified gunsmith or armorer to assist you. We hope you found this video helpful and informative. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.